for me, kindness is a way of expressing love. So for me, like, love is when you care about someone, and that someone can be yourself. Someone can be a person that you know, or even like a person that you don't know at all, but you decide to care about that person. So for me, like, love is about caring.
Love is this feeling that you can find in other people. So if you find a piece of you in someone else, I think that's love.
Oh my, how would I define love? I think it's really an attachment by soul, like connection in soul. I think it really is that. I feel like love is really hard to describe because it's intangible. You can't see it, you can't feel it. I mean, technically you could feel it, but how could you feel it? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it hot? Like, is it 370 Celsius? It's very hard, but that's why I think it's like a soul property. There's also that question of, is it possible for a human being to love other human beings without need? It's like, I love my mom and my mom loves me, but if I weren't her child, would she love me? I don't think so. It's like that. And I feel like that's why also I find God's love very precious. It's also a very strong one-on-one connection, which also ties into self-love too. And then with that strong bond between you and yourself and you and God, I think then you have enough power of love in a way to kind of spread it, to want to infect others with love in a way.
Being selfless for the other person that you say you love.
I can only think of it as the feeling. Like, I don't know, like waking up and then you turn on the TV and you see it, you have a snow day, you have the day off, or going into your kitchen to like clean the dishes, but then finding somebody who already did it for you. I think like love is just like, it's those like pleasant, unexpected surprises. I think it's patience. I think it's seeing opportunity in a way. Like, something about love, I always feel like it's this feeling of opportunity. Like, it's a chance to share something about yourself. It's a chance to see something that you didn't see before. It's a chance to, I don't know, be in a space where you feel comfort. You feel powerful in a way. Powerful and yet weak. It's like it's this weird space where you can feel all kinds of contradictions and feel settled in that. It's this place of ease. I think that that's what love seems to be for me. But yeah, I'm still working on it. Still thinking it through.
Wow, I feel like this is so hard to define love. I mean, so it's like, okay, so ideally, if let me to ideally love is different from like love in reality. Ideally, love might be like something is like purely beautiful, like purely respect other people, purely like you hope like they could live in a way they want. And like purely love is more like give them freedom, I guess. But I feel like in reality, love is like more complex. Love is kind of like mixed with hate. Not hate, I guess. It's kind of like hate sometimes. It's like you hope you could like give other people freedom, but sometimes because of you like them, you love them, you kind of want them to live in a way you think it's better for them, but maybe it's not better for them like in their own way. So yeah, it's so hard, but I think maybe love is freedom. Yeah.
The way that I see love now has a lot to do with acceptance. That's been my foundation, is acceptance. Can I accept this person exactly as they are today? You know, no caveats, no future tripping, no thoughts of they're going to be different from me in the future. It's just like, just look at today and appreciate who they are today.
I don't define it. I don't think there is a reason to. It's one of those concepts that is so broad that defining it almost is not meaningful. I think generally we use it in a lot of different senses. So, like the word itself doesn't. But I guess it's a lot of care and connection and kind of underlying more subconscious feeling that we have.
I think for me it's more of a feeling. I don't necessarily have like a certain criteria of like, oh, this is love, this is not love. It's just a matter of how I feel when I'm loved, and sometimes it's actually something that I think I can't necessarily explain. It's just a matter of either when I love someone or when I feel loved. It's just a matter of like something from inside that is just feels good.
How would I define love? I think the first words that come to mind is like labor. It's work. It's an effort. It's intentional. I think. I feel that it's intentional, but also natural. I guess I don't think it's a feeling you can force, but at the same time, it is something that has to be taken care of. It is something that has to be fostered and cultivated, and again, that's like different from person to person. I guess borrowing that language, cultivation and growing, it's like growing different plants, right? Different flowers. Like each one has a particular environment or setting or space in which it's most optimal for growing. And I think that's how we have to think about love too, that it can be different from place to place, from person to person. But I guess what brings them all together is this effort to take care of them.
I think it's a layer of vulnerability, a layer of comfort, a layer of care. And all of this manifests in different ways for different people based on how they want to show it or how they want to feel it. I specifically felt it in being taken care of. And like small things like having to come back from school and seeing something left out on the table for you to eat or drink, knowing that they know you like it. And so I feel like love is that feeling where I come back home, I see it, and then I know they were thinking of me. It's not even about the fact that it was there. It's just that they care enough to think about me through their day. I think love means something mutual, and it's like an adhesive bonding between, and I think it's like you can define love in two kind of ways. Maybe that's a little binary, but like I feel like for love it means first of all individual loves, and also there's like a collective more general love. For the individual love, it's more like the adhesive bonds between you and a specific person that requires mutual understanding and responsibility, and also affections. Is that a word? And love in general, it's more broad, and it's like it's still like respect almost, but it's kind of different. Like it's more, I don't know. I feel like having the kindness towards everything, if that makes sense.
I haven't tried to articulate that in a long time. I think the first thing that's coming to mind is making space. And sometimes that means making space for self, you know, like I know I'm a better partner if when I wake up in the morning, just no one speaks to me, you know? And like if I could have my quiet morning, I could have more energy to have an engaged afternoon or an engaged evening. But if that's disrupted in the morning, then I'm spending the rest of the day trying to catch up and make my own space, and it just doesn't happen. But I also think it means making space for the person that you love. I think in thinking of like how I wake up in the morning and I want my space to myself, I could very easily just make that into a whole day that I just want for myself, you know, like, and not talking to anyone. But I do think that in thinking of, you know, how to be a better partner, how to be a better lover, how do I then make space for my partner? Even, you know, if sometimes my inclination is not to do that, how do I do that because my intention is to communicate my love?
Defining love is hard. Specifically thinking about human to human relationships. I guess it's a mixture of curiosity and compassion and attention and respect and a multitude of other things. And an imbalance of things can make it an unhealthy love. And there's so many different ways to love. It's hard to explain, hard to define.
I think it's difficult. Maybe just like unconditional care for someone, and being willing to work together and grow. I think love for me is very much a recognition that not everyone is perfect, and so it's not expecting everything to be good all the time, and then being able to sit through any of the negative or difficult times with somebody. That's, I think, what love is.
I think love is just, it's caring, right? I think it's when you make space for something or someone like within your daily life, right? Like not being told to, but like having this feeling that you want to know about someone's life, their story, and feeling curious about, you know, how they're feeling and how their day was that day. Something about just like having that almost like innate intention to like want to know, to be curious about them.
I think for me, it's just being able to like do stuff for someone, like taking care of stuff, or even, I'm not even that affectionate now. Like I feel like the only thing I'm really affectionate towards is like family and my rabbit, and love for me for them is like just being able to take care of them and just ask them like, oh, it's like small acts of kindness, like how are you doing, feeding my rabbit. It's just, it's like acts of service in a way. That's how I feel like love is for me.
I define love as the fundamental emotion that all people have in a way to feel connected with each other. And that could be things from just like the 5 love languages. So acts of service, quality time, physical touch, the other 2 that I'm forgetting right now at the moment. But that fundamental connection that we all have then allows us to be social and to connect, and then brings up all the other emotions that we feel through love, whether it be platonic, it could be like jealousy or lust, it could be romantic, all these different things.
I think love can come in a lot of forms, and I think they're sort of different colors, but they're all like made up of paint. I don't know if that makes sense. I think it's a fondness and a feeling of, when I was little, I used to think of it as like my heart had little strings, and I would like heartstrings, but it would be like a little thread that connects me to someone. And then the more I get to know them, like the more of those little threads there are. And then you care about them and you feel for them, and I think trust is a big part of it too. Leaning on someone and then leaning back, or being able to do that. And there's a gratitude, I think, when I say I love someone or something. Part of it is that I am grateful that that person is in my life.